Yes, I was listening to a particular recording. I must give you the reference when I can get hold of it. I'll try and add it to the end of this recording when I find it. And, who do you respond to and in what way? For instance, a liar. Someone who doesn't tell you the truth. This is a breach of relationship. You can't have a close relationship with a liar. Realize that. It's extremely dangerous. You'll be on quicksand. You don't know where you are. You make a decision with information that's not true. You find someone who's, regularly a liar. There's no question of it. You can't be close to them. They're not part of your fellowship. Those that don't ask, well, they don't value. Unless, of course, they can't ask. They're dying on the side of the road, like the story of the Good Samaritan, sees this chap on the side of the road and, of course, comes to his rescue. Well, perhaps he was crying out and asking for rescue, I don't know. But you see what I mean? But other than that, normally, they don't ask, they don't value. If they do ask, do you automatically give it? No, they may be, Satan asks you to kill your friend. Oh, well, I must do what he says. He asked. No way. Are you mad? Have some rationality about your interpretation of Scripture. Give to him that asks. Well, you give from scarce resources. You have limited time, you have limited money, you have limited everything. So you use it wisely to the goodness of God. This is what loving God's about. You've devoted your resources to God, not everybody, not everything. On the contrary, it's focused to God with all your heart, and your soul is devoted to God. And then you do what that implies. Advancing God's will. Quite simply, what you understand His will to be. You use the treasure wisely. What's it, the story of the 7 wise and 7 foolish maidens that were going to go to the wedding. The wise ones kept a store of oil so that the lamps wouldn't go out. And they don't give it to the foolish ones, even though the foolish ones ask. And this is in the story itself. Does that contradict? Give to him that asks. No, you're meant to do it with wisdom. Be reasonable. So they say, hard luck. You haven't got it. You go and get it. It's not for foolish people like you. We are extremely rational and careful in the lovely sense of how we use the resources, our life, and everything that God puts in our influence. So, in what way do we love those that hate us? Well, we're always ready to forgive, of course, if they truly make progress in the right direction. But if they still hate us, then they're enemies of God, aren't they? So you keep them at a distance. You don't take them into fellowship close. Keep good company, not bad. This is cardinal. After all, why do you spend time thinking of God? Because it's transformingly wonderful company to do so. Hence, what's it, Paul has it? Pray without ceasing. Well, assuming it was Paul that said this, I gather he did it. Check it. You won't be sure if it just says it's some so-and-so writing, but Is it actually in one of the more reliably Pauline letters? Here it could be. Pray without ceasing. It's a mindfulness of God, isn't it? It doesn't mean to say give him an endless shopping list. It's not that. It could be the prayer of thankfulness, mindfulness of him even. That your life's transformed by the company of being with him. If you're thinking of, you're with. If you're with and not thinking of, then you're not really with at all. Where's your mind, man? You're not listening to me, are you? Oh yeah. You know, keep good company. Keep mindful of good company. It's another way of saying whatsoever's good and lovely, think on these things, isn't it? And this transforms you. It transforms you in other ways, even when you're not thinking of it, because you're physically keeping good company. You have reliable, honest people of integrity and that love God around you. They are constantly influencing you in the right way, instead of the wrong way, into addiction and violence and so on. When your kids are in the wrong company, you do something about it fast. Get them an occupation that's going to give them much better company. This is why church people try to have their kids in the Sunday school and so on, because they want the kids to grow up with a good peer group, as they understand it. It's probably disastrous given the state of the church, but that's an unkind thing to say, Marshall. Yeah, it can be true though, can't it? I don't know. I wasn't brought up in the church. You might know better than I am. Okay. Let me listen to this again. Yes, a person who is a gossip, constantly critical of someone else. Always somebody, critical of everybody. They'll be critical of you too, to other people. Of course, they're not going to be inconsistent. Keep your distance. Know you're on quicksand. You don't share everything with such people. They will use it against you. People of truth also that are malicious, narcissists. You realize how narrow their view of self is. You don't want to keep that sort of company. You're not investing in such people. You're not sent to the world. You're sent to those that have ears to hear. Those that are, quite honestly, already showing signs of being children of God. They're the ones that are loving and kind, patient and true, faithful. People of truth, honest. You know what a good friend is. Choose your friends wisely. Wise. W expansive as of the word I. Not just I, but I of the years, yearning, you, eternal, wise, Z, into eternity, endless, eternal, Z, Zoo, all life, remember. Ours is all life. Zoo is another way of saying heaven. A nice zoo, of course. All life and cared for, ideally. After all, we're talking about a godly place, not an earthly zoo. And yes, it is a shining light to all who wish to come. It's the sort of place you go to on holiday. Should we go to the zoo? Oh yes, I see the animals. Lions, tigers, elephants, giraffes, beavers, badgers. Even an animal, even a farm zoo, sheep, cattle, cows, bulls, horses, ducks, geese. Do you see? Be wise. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.
I should tell you the name of that video referred to at the beginning of this recording. It's 7 types of people you must not help. And this is, the beginning of the title was God's Warning. God's Warning. Goodness. So, sounds a bit heavily Christian and a particular view. Goodness. Christianity is a block, it's a collage of different views actually, but all of them right, of course. They ignore any inconsistencies across the whole body of it. But yes, it's interesting because you get sweeping statements by Jesus like, give to him that asks. And then it says, don't cast your pearls before swine. And you think, hang on. And what happens, as I pointed out somewhere else, if some satanic soul asks you to kill this chap, do you do it because he asked? Of course not. So, I think the story does assume some measure of rationality in trying to understand what's being said. A literal gospel is horrendous as regards some self-contradiction. It screams at you that you have to be Gnostic or else throw the story away. And of course many people do. But they may want to throw the story away for other reasons, not just the fact that it's any less rational or any more irrational than they are, than we are, sorry, all of us. We're not the epitome of rationality, thank goodness. We're driven by sentiment and, hopefully, love and kindness and understanding, empathy. All those other qualities that don't seem to crop up in maths and science studies, but sort of keep trying to seep into things like sociology and psychology and the humanities, but then are assumed away, like in economics, where we just assume all households are maximising their utility. There may conceivably be some anomaly like interpersonal utility functions within families, but there's no interfamily utility functions. They're all isolated units acting in the market. So, having simplified the world out of humanity's existence, we then analyse what we think will happen in this dehumanized world. And amazingly, we find that our predictions are at best incredibly wide of the mark. Surprise, surprise. And thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, this this video of 7 types of people you shouldn't help is, of course, this presented as extremely judgmental and very much in a particular type of Christian vein, quite contrary and in sharp contrast to Marshall Rosenberg's non-violent communication. In fairness, it's not saying you communicate such.
other than be wise in who you're going to be in fellowship with, you know. Well, does seem very helpful. See what you think. Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.